48 minutes. Two games back to back where the second quarter wasn't, that great for us, but really proud of how we came out in the first quarter. I mean, this is a high octane offense we went up against. A lot of runs in tonight's game, and I thought our guys just stayed with it. They hit some tough shots against us. Again, we had our breakdowns here and there, but our guys talking, in timeouts, making sure we're doing what we needed to do. When the bench came in, guys knowing what the game plan was, sticking with it. And then we got crucial stops, end of the third, start of the fourth, that just kind of broke the game open. So just really proud of the edge that we had, the effort to start the game, address what we needed to at halftime, and came out and did a much better job in the second half. But really good game, and it's been a minute. I think those guys, they're very versatile. I love the activity that they're playing with. I thought, there were some really good one-on-one defensive sequences. I thought those two guys, especially Jaren coming over, blocking 4 shots. There's a couple sequences, him just, contesting at the rim. They've got good athleticism, good, activity defensively, and then offensively, the way they run, BC, crashing the boards, getting on transition, getting kick ahead finishes. Jaren, spacing the floor, but also driving. You just don't know who's guarding them at times. So we have different guys. Jaren's the popper, Jaren's the roller. BC outrunning guys. But I just really like what they're doing defensively. In a lot of different coverages we have. So that's big production when we kind of combine starters, bench. Having those two guys finding some chemistry is big for us.
Coach DB's talked about, going up against Paul George and that being his biggest test, to date. What did you see against Paul George? And then in that moment where he got that double tech, was that the moment where we were all like, Dylan Brooks is back?
I think we felt it for, before that DB's back, but obviously he relishes these opportunities to guard some of the best offensive players in the game. You're never going to pitch a shutout against some of these guys, but I thought when he was on George tonight, his game plan discipline was phenomenal. Hit some tough shots against him, but his physicality, you just feel it in pick and rolls, ISO situations. That just gets him going. Obviously had a good offensive game tonight, but when he puts that effort forward, defensively, it just kind of filters throughout the team. Everyone feels that. So, we obviously, love what DB does on the defensive end to set a tone for us. So glad DB's back. I know he's continuing to work his way back into full game shape, but, really proud of what he's done the first couple of games.
Taylor, you mentioned Jaren's 4 block shots, but just in terms of overall defensive impact, it feels as though in the last couple of weeks he's really stepped up. What does he mean for you guys, especially in those minutes where he has to kind of anchor things?
Yeah, I mean, I think, still figuring out our lineups, our combinations, in the meat of the game, how we finish halves, games. With a guy his size, his, versatility allows us to play against bigger lineups, smaller lineups, Steven's strengths as well, knowing what Jaren can do against different lineups. But, he's been trending in a great direction. He does a lot of work. And, I think I've said it before, a lot of guys, when they do individual work, they work on their offense. He does a great combination of working on offense and a lot of defense too. And it's not just film work, like they're going through techniques. We put them in switching situations, one-on-one situations, being disciplined at the rim, not to pick up fouls and block shots. Those are all things he's literally working on every single day. So the fact that it's translating to success on the court, it just gives him more confidence, us more confidence to know this guy, can do a lot of different things out there on the floor defensively.
You mentioned sort of figuring out lineups at the meat of the game. You're going back in the starting lineup for the third game now. So does that, when you start breaking up that starting lineup throughout the middle of the game, does having him back so that you think it's going to help you find more defensive consistency throughout different combinations?
Yeah, I mean, obviously one of, DB's great strengths amongst multiple strengths is, his defensive intensity and execution and just pure abilities. But, haven't gotten him to his normal sub pattern yet tonight, especially with George. We kind of altered in the meat of the game when they brought him back early in the fourth quarter. But it's definitely going to give us a lot of versatility. I mean, obviously I've gained a lot of confidence, with DB out to start the season and, what Kyle can do against certain personnel. Bigger wings, what, Dez and Melt have done, those guys have shown us some good things throughout, but now when you've got multiple guys and obviously DB getting, a bulk of that share, we just have more depth, throughout the game to give us a lot more defensive intensity.
Is there anything in particular, Taylor, other than his just general confidence and feel as a 3-level scorer that's led to Ja, being able to do the kind of things you saw at the end of the third quarter where he just explodes for 10, 15 points just in the blink of an eye? What's gone into that?
I mean, that's the simplest thing I can say. I've said for 2 years now, he's always learning what the game's showing him. He's always reading what the defense is, showing him, and we always say you've got the responsibility to be the playmaker to score, playmake for a teammate. He does a phenomenal job of that, always trying to get better in those areas. But he put in a lot of work this offseason. He's still doing it now, finding that time. It's the finishing package going up against bigs. It's the mid-range pull-ups and floaters games. Adding that pull-up's been big for his game this year. And then the three-point shot. Our team's going to go over on him. What can he do in the paint? Are they going to go under? Can he shoot the three? He's putting the work, and he's showing that, hey, it's going to be hard to guard me. And he's going to continue to put the work in, just become more of an unstoppable force. Thanks, everybody. Yep.